The arena's crimson sand had witnessed 1,000 deaths, each grain baptized in the blood of warriors from across the galaxy. Above the circular pit, tier upon tier of alien spectators roared their approval as the massive blast doors groaned open. From the darkness emerged Vexthak the Destroyer, predator king of the Saurian Dominion, his obsidian scales reflecting the harsh arena lights like midnight water. Standing nearly 12 feet tall, Vexthak was evolution's perfect killing machine. His razor-sharp claws could slice through durasteel, his jaw could crush starship hull plating, and his reflexes were honed by millennia of hunting the deadliest prey across 17 star systems. Acid dripped from his serrated teeth as he surveyed his domain, yellow eyes scanning for his opponent. The crowd fell silent. Confused murmurs rippled through the stands as the opposite gate remained sealed. "Where is the challenger?" Vexthak's voice was a rumbling growl that shook dust from the arena's ancient walls. "I was promised a worthy opponent." Admiral Korath of the Galactic Council leaned forward in his observation booth, his tentacles writhing with nervous energy. "The human delegation insisted on this arrangement," he explained to his companions. "Their champion will arrive momentarily." The gate finally opened with a mechanical wheeze. What emerged was not the towering warrior the crowd expected, but a small figure that barely reached 4 feet in height. The human child, for that's clearly what it was, walked calmly into the arena wearing simple brown clothing and carrying nothing but a leather satchel. Vexthak's laughter was like grinding stone. "Is this some jest? Send me a real warrior, or I shall feast on council delegates tonight." The child, a boy of perhaps 10 human years with sandy hair and steady brown eyes, looked up at the towering predator without fear. "I'm David Hutchinson," he said in clear, unaccented galactic standard. "I accept your challenge." The arena erupted in chaos. Spectators shrieked protests demanding blood sport, not child murder. But the Saurian honor codes were absolute. Once a challenge was accepted in the sacred arena, it could not be withdrawn. Vexthak's eyes narrowed to slits. In 300 arena battles, he had never faced such audacity. "Child, I have slain Korvakian berserkers twice your size. I have torn the heads from Zalarian battle priests. What possible threat could you pose?" David reached into his satchel and withdrew 5 smooth stones, each no larger than his palm. "My people have a saying," he replied, placing the stones carefully at his feet. "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog." The Predator King's roar shook the arena. "Then die with honor, little human." He lunged forward with blinding speed, claws extended, intending to end this farce with one swift strike. But David was already moving. The boy's small size, which had seemed like such a disadvantage, now worked in his favor. He rolled beneath the massive claws, came up in a crouch, and hurled his first stone with precision born of countless hours of practice. The stone struck Vexthak's left eye with devastating accuracy. The Predator King stumbled, roaring in pain and rage, black blood streaming down his snout. He whirled to face his opponent, but David was no longer where he had been. The second stone caught Vexthak in the throat, crushing his windpipe. The third shattered his right knee, sending the massive predator crashing to the sand. The fourth stone, thrown with the full force of human determination, struck the soft spot where skull met spine. Vexthak the Destroyer, Predator King of the Saurian Dominion, collapsed face first into the crimson sand and moved no more. The arena fell into absolute silence. 80,000 spectators from across the galaxy sat stunned as a human child calmly collected his unused stones and placed them back in his satchel. Admiral Korath's voice was barely a whisper. "How?" Dr. Sarah Chen, the human ambassador, smiled grimly from her seat. "You studied our warriors, our soldiers, our adult champions. But you never studied our children's games. That boy has been perfecting his accuracy with stones since he could walk. Every human child learns to throw, it's in our DNA. But the calculation, the precision under pressure. David's father was a military sniper. His mother teaches physics. He's been calculating trajectories and compensating for wind resistance since he was 6. Dr. Chen stood as her people's champion walked toward the exit. "You wanted to test humanity's resolve by threatening our children. Now you know we don't just protect our young, we teach them to protect themselves." As David reached the arena gates, he turned back to face the silent crowd. His young voice carried clearly through the vast space. "My grandfather always said that any bully, no matter how big, has weak spots if you know where to look. He was in something called World War II. The boy shouldered his satchel. He taught me that sometimes the smallest person can make the biggest difference. The gates closed behind him with a final, echoing clang. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council would debate for months about what they had witnessed. Some called it luck. Others spoke of human unpredictability. But the wisest among them understood the deeper truth. Humanity's strength had never been in their size or natural weapons. It lay in their ability to turn any situation into a learning opportunity, to adapt and overcome through intelligence, preparation, and an unshakable refusal to yield in the face of impossible odds. Word of the arena battle spread across the galaxy within days. The Saurian Dominion retreated to their home systems, their expansion plans abandoned. Other predatory species reconsidered their aggressive postures toward human colonies. And in quiet playgrounds across human space, children continued their ancient games, learning to throw with deadly accuracy, never knowing when such skills might save not just their lives but the future of their species. The Predator King had challenged what he thought was humanity's weakest link. Instead, he discovered their greatest strength, that every human, regardless of age, carried within them the potential to be a giant slayer. He never rose again.